17 most expensive black celebrity weddings ever. You won't believe.
Beautiful night.
We have his buzzing.
What if a single wedding cost more than most people earn in a lifetime? From a staggering $12 million spectacle to fairy tale castles covered in gold-dusted roses, these 17 black celebrities didn't just get married, they threw the most expensive jaw-dropping weddings in Hollywood history. Ready to see who spent the biggest fortune on love? Stick around till the end. You won't believe number one. Drop A if you're shocked already. Michael Jordan and Yvette Prieto.
Like a magic pill. Put on shorts and go out.
When Michael Jordan, often called the greatest player in NBA history, decided to remarry in 2013, he didn't just plan a wedding. He orchestrated a spectacle that reflected his status as a global icon and billionaire entrepreneur. His bride, Yvette Prieto, a Cuban-American model, met him years earlier in Miami, and their relationship quickly grew into one of the most talked-about romances in sports and celebrity culture. The ceremony took place in Palm Beach, Florida, beginning with a traditional service at Bethesda by the Sea Episcopal Church, followed by an ultra-luxurious reception that stunned even seasoned event planners. A 40,000-square-foot custom-built tent transformed the venue into something resembling a private city of elegance. Reports from outlets like People and E! Estimate the total cost at $10 to $12 million, placing it among the most expensive celebrity weddings ever. Every detail reinforced excess at the highest level. Around 100,000 white roses imported from the Netherlands filled the space, creating a surreal, almost dreamlike atmosphere. Guests, roughly 300 of them, including celebrities like Tiger Woods and Spike Lee, arrived in a fleet of luxury vehicles, including Bentleys. The entertainment alone set a new bar with live performances from Usher and Robin Thicke, turning the reception into a private concert. The menu matched the grandeur premium Wagyu beef fresh seafood and top-tier champagne reportedly valued in the thousands per bottle. And in true Jordan fashion, the gifts were unforgettable custom 24-karat gold-plated Air Jordans, symbolizing both his legacy and his brand empire. More than just a celebration of love, this wedding was a statement. It wasn't subtle, and it wasn't meant to be. It was Michael Jordan at full scale, competitive, iconic, and unapologetically extravagant. Halle Berry and Olivier Martinez.
Are Halle Berry and Olivier Martinez...
When Halle Berry, an Academy Award-winning icon, married French actor Olivier Martinez in 2013, the couple chose elegance over exposure, crafting a wedding that felt less like a celebrity event and more like a modern-day royal fairy tale. Set in the historic Château de Condé, a 13th-century castle in France, the ceremony blended Hollywood glamour with old-world European refinement. Unlike many high-profile weddings designed for headlines, this celebration was intentionally private. With tight security and a secluded countryside location, the couple successfully kept paparazzi at bay, creating an atmosphere of intimacy rarely seen at this level of fame. Yet privacy didn't mean simplicity. Reports and estimates, while varying, place the overall cost in the multi-million-dollar range, often cited around $8 to $9 million, largely due to the exclusivity of the venue, high-end design, and luxury services. The aesthetic was nothing short of breathtaking. Thousands of French roses, some reportedly accented with 24-karat gold, detailing filled the castle grounds, creating a rich romantic palette. Inside, guests were treated to a 7-course gourmet menu inspired by Michelin star standards, paired with premium wines sourced from renowned French vineyards. Berry herself wore a custom couture gown, often attributed in reports to top designers, featuring intricate crystal embellishments that captured the soft glow of candlelit halls. Among the select guest list were close friends and A-list figures, including Oprah Winfrey, adding a subtle layer of star power without overwhelming the intimate tone. In essence, this wedding wasn't about excess for spectacle. It was about curated luxury. A fusion of Hollywood storytelling and European heritage, it stood as a rare moment where fame stepped back and romance took center stage. Gabrielle Union and Dwyane Wade. When Gabrielle Union and Dwyane Wade said, "I do" in 2014, they didn't just host a wedding. They created a defining moment for modern celebrity power couples. Set at the ultra-exclusive Chateau Artisan in Miami, the event reflected both their personal journey and their elevated status in entertainment and sports. After navigating public ups and downs, their union became a statement of resilience as much as romance. The celebration, estimated at $3 to $5 million, transformed the venue into a glowing paradise. Around 90,000 golden orchids imported from Brazil filled the space, casting a warm, luxurious hue across the entire setting. At the center stood a striking glass tent with an illuminated floor built over an artificial lake, giving guests the surreal feeling of walking on light and water at once, an unmistakable Miami-style spectacle. Union's presence was unforgettable. She wore a custom Dennis Basso gown weighing nearly 8 kilograms, intricately adorned with approximately 12,000 Swarovski crystals, shimmering with every step. Beside her, Wade matched the elegance in a sharply tailored tuxedo, embodying the confidence of an NBA legend at the height of his influence. Their arrival, along with that of their high-profile guests, including figures like LeBron James and Kevin Hart, was equally grand, marked by a fleet of gold-accented Rolls-Royce vehicles. Beyond the visuals, the wedding carried a deeper message. It wasn't just about luxury, it was about partnership. In a city known for excess, this celebration stood out not only for its scale, but for what it represented: a couple who faced challenges publicly and chose commitment anyway. More than a glamorous event, it became a symbol of enduring love, modern success, and the unmistakable flair of Miami's elite culture. Tina Turner and Erwin Bach.
It's something we both have for each other.
When Tina Turner, the legendary queen of rock and roll, married Erwin Bach in 2013, it wasn't just a wedding. It was the culmination of nearly 3 decades of enduring love. Set against the serene backdrop of a private villa on Lake Zurich, Switzerland, the ceremony reflected both elegance and emotional depth. After 27 years together, this moment symbolized peace, stability, and a well-earned new chapter in Turner's life. The celebration, estimated at $3 to $4 million, was intimate in size but grand in execution. Around 120 carefully selected guests, including icons like Oprah Winfrey and David Bowie, were transported in a fleet of luxury Bentleys, setting the tone for understated opulence. The villa's gardens were transformed by 70,000 red and white roses imported from the Netherlands, creating a vivid romantic landscape overlooking the lake. Every detail was curated to perfection. Guests dined on a refined menu paired with Krug 1988 champagne, with bottles valued at up to $15,000 each, adding a layer of rare luxury. A 30-piece orchestra performed live, filling the air with classical melodies that elevated the atmosphere from celebration to timeless experience. Turner herself wore a custom Giorgio Armani gown adorned with Swarovski crystals, radiating both strength and grace. Yet beyond the grandeur, what made this wedding truly unforgettable was its meaning. Unlike many celebrity unions driven by spectacle, this was a quiet triumph after a life marked by personal and professional battles. It represented not excess, but arrival, a moment where love, resilience, and legacy met in perfect harmony. For Tina Turner, this wasn't just a fairy tale ending. It was a powerful reminder that lasting love can come at any stage of life, and when it does, it's worth celebrating without limits. Magic Johnson and Cookie. Long before conversations about resilience and public health surrounded his name, Magic Johnson stood at the peak of his NBA career, 5 championships, global fame, and a legacy already in motion. Yet in September 1991 in Lansing, Michigan, the spotlight shifted from basketball to something far more personal: his marriage to Cookie Johnson, his college sweetheart and unwavering partner. Their wedding, estimated at $3 to $4 million, quickly became one of the most talked-about events of its time. The ceremony featured an extraordinary display of luxury, with approximately 80,000 tulips imported from the Netherlands, transforming the venue into a sea of color and fragrance. Guests, many from the worlds of sports and entertainment, arrived in a striking convoy of Rolls-Royce vehicles, reinforcing the sense that this was no ordinary celebration. Inside the reception, elegance met indulgence. The menu included premium selections such as Wagyu beef, and top-tier champagne curated to match the grandeur of the occasion. As a final touch, attendees received Patek Philippe watches, a rare and prestigious gift that reflected both appreciation and status. Every detail spoke to success, influence, and the scale of Johnson's world at that moment. But what makes this wedding truly unforgettable isn't just the luxury, it's what followed. Just months later, Magic Johnson publicly announced his HIV diagnosis, a moment that changed not only his life, but also global awareness around the disease. Through it all, Cookie remained by his side. Decades later, their marriage still stands strong, making their wedding more than a display of wealth. It became the starting point of one of the most powerful stories of loyalty, courage, and enduring love in modern sports history. Eddie Murphy and Nicole Mitchell.
Shares photos from the wedding.
At the height of his box office dominance, Eddie Murphy didn't just make audiences laugh. He made headlines with a wedding that captured the full excess of 1990s Hollywood. On March 18, 1993, he married Nicole Mitchell Murphy at the iconic Plaza Hotel in New York, turning one of the city's most prestigious venues into a stage for pure spectacle. All right. With an estimated cost of $3 to $4 million, the event was widely regarded as one of the most extravagant celebrity weddings of its era. Around 500 guests, including major figures from entertainment, arrived in a jaw-dropping 50-meter-long limousine convoy, effectively taking over the surrounding streets. Inside, the ballroom was transformed into a surreal environment. 60,000 rare black roses imported from Ecuador covered the space, while an artificial lake with a floating stage created the illusion of a dreamlike performance, set rather than a traditional reception. The experience extended to every sense. Guests were served a 10-course gourmet menu featuring premium seafood, top-grade meats, and high-end champagne flowing throughout the night. A live band kept the atmosphere electric, blending celebration with the energy of a Hollywood premiere. Nicole stunned in an elegant designer gown, while Murphy matched the moment with a sharply tailored tuxedo, embodying the confidence of a superstar at his peak. More than just a wedding, this event symbolized a cultural moment when celebrity comedy and wealth collided at full force. It reflected not only Murphy's immense success, but also an era where Hollywood embraced bold, unapologetic extravagance. Even decades later, it remains a vivid reminder of how far stars were willing to go to turn love into an unforgettable show.
You're on a raft in the middle of the ocean.
Serena Williams and Alexis Ohanian.
Princess, but today I'm officially pledging myself.
When Serena Williams, one of the greatest athletes in sports history, married Reddit co-founder Alexis Ohanian in 2017, the event wasn't just a wedding. It was a cultural crossover where sport technology and high fashion met in one of the most carefully crafted celebrity celebrations of the decade. Held at the New Orleans Contemporary Arts Center, the ceremony was estimated at $3 to $4 million, transforming the venue into a modern fairy tale inspired by Beauty and the Beast. The concept wasn't accidental. It reflected Serena's powerful image as a modern queen in both sports and global culture. The decor was breathtaking. Approximately 100,000 red roses imported from France filled the space, creating a dramatic, romantic atmosphere that dominated every corner of the venue. The floral design alone made the event feel like a cinematic world rather than a traditional reception. Fashion played a central role in the spectacle. Serena wore a custom Versace gown embellished with diamonds designed to reflect both elegance and strength. Her look symbolized more than luxury, it represented dominance, confidence, and femininity at the highest level. Ohanian complemented her presence in a sleek designer tuxedo, embodying understated sophistication. Entertainment elevated the celebration even further. Legendary R&B group New Edition performed live, turning the reception into a private concert for A-list guests, including Beyonce and Kim Kardashian. The energy blended nostalgia, luxury, and star power into a single, unforgettable night. But beyond the grandeur, the wedding carried a deeper meaning. It marked the union of three worlds: elite athletics, Silicon Valley innovation, and global entertainment culture. More than a lavish event, it became a symbol of modern success where talent, intellect, and influence intersect. Serena Williams didn't just host a wedding, she redefined what a contemporary power ceremony could look like. Denzel Washington and Pauletta Pearson. When Denzel Washington and Pauletta Pearson Washington first married in 1983, it was a modest but elegant union between two rising talents in Hollywood. However, their story didn't peak in that small ceremony. It evolved into one of the most enduring marriages in entertainment, culminating in a spectacular vow renewal in 1995 that reflected both their success and their shared values. By the mid-1990s, Denzel had already become an Oscar-winning actor, and the couple chose South Africa as the setting for their renewal ceremony. The event, estimated at $2 to $3 million, was less about excess and more about significance, blending luxury with cultural and historical symbolism. The guest list itself made headlines. Among the attendees was South Africa's beloved leader, Nelson Mandela, whose presence elevated the ceremony into a moment of global attention. Guests were flown in via private jets, emphasizing the scale and importance of the occasion. The venue was transformed into a breathtaking landscape filled with approximately 30,000 white lilies, symbolizing purity and renewal. A 100-piece orchestra performed live, creating a powerful, emotional atmosphere that matched the gravity of the couple's journey. Every detail was carefully curated, from fine dining to elegant decor, balancing sophistication with meaning rather than pure extravagance. What makes this celebration stand apart from many other celebrity weddings is its foundation. While it included luxury elements, the focus was never just wealth, it was longevity. Over time, Denzel and Pauletta built a marriage that has lasted more than 4 decades, raising children and maintaining a stable family life despite Hollywood pressures. Their vow renewal wasn't a reinvention, it was a confirmation. In a world where fame often leads to instability, their story stands as a rare example of commitment, faith, and partnership enduring far beyond the spotlight.
What was the question?
Russell Simmons and Kimora Lee Simmons. At the height of hip-hop's rise into global luxury culture in the late 1990s, Russell Simmons, co-founder of Def Jam and one of the most influential figures in music entrepreneurship, turned his wedding into a bold statement of lifestyle status and cultural power. His bride, Kimora Lee Simmons, a rising fashion icon, helped define an era where hip-hop and high fashion began to merge on the world stage. Held in 1998 on a Caribbean beach, the celebration was estimated at $2 to $3 million, reflecting the peak of 90s celebrity extravagance. The natural beauty of the location was transformed into a luxury spectacle designed not just as a wedding, but as an immersive experience of wealth and influence. One of the most striking features was a glass dance floor built directly over the ocean, giving guests the surreal feeling of floating above the waves. Around the venue, approximately 40,000 tropical flowers imported from Brazil created vibrant, colorful pathways that contrasted with the turquoise sea. The entire setting felt like a private festival crafted for the elite. Entertainment was equally curated. A private DJ kept the energy alive throughout the night, blending hip-hop beats with the relaxed rhythm of the Caribbean atmosphere. Guests included major names from music, fashion, and entertainment, reinforcing the couple's position at the center of a rapidly expanding cultural movement. Every detail extended the theme of luxury, from exotic cuisine and premium champagne to unforgettable gifts. Attendees received signature baby fat-inspired items, including gold-plated accessories, symbolizing both Kimora's emerging fashion empire and Simmons' influence in branding hip-hop culture. More than just a wedding, this event captured a defining moment in entertainment history. It reflected the transformation of hip-hop from street culture to global luxury influence, with Russell Simmons and Kimora Lee Simmons standing at the forefront of that evolution. Lawrence Fishburne and Gina Torres.
Might possibly conceivably be having marriage trouble.
In the early 2000s, when Hollywood blockbusters were shaping global pop culture, Lawrence Fishburne, already celebrated for his commanding role in The Matrix, turned his real-life love story into a cinematic-level celebration. His bride, Gina Torres, an accomplished television actress, joined him in a wedding that felt less like a private ceremony and more like a carefully directed film premiere. Held in 2002 at the Cloisters in New York, the event was estimated at $2 to $3 million, reflecting a balance of elegance and blockbuster-style spectacle. The historic venue overlooking the Hudson River was transformed into a luxurious stage where architecture and nature blended with Hollywood glamour. Arrival itself set the tone. Select guests, including friends and industry insiders, arrived by private helicopter, instantly signaling the exclusivity and scale of the celebration. Inside the space was filled with approximately 45,000 purple orchids imported from Thailand, creating a dramatic visual palette that mirrored both sophistication and theatricality. The experience extended far beyond decor. A live orchestra performed arrangements inspired by the Matrix soundtrack, turning the ceremony into something immersive and almost cinematic. It wasn't just background music. It was part of the storytelling, reinforcing Fishburne's identity as a defining figure in modern film culture. The dining experience matched the setting, featuring a high-end gourmet menu with premium wines and luxury ingredients carefully curated for an elite guest list. Every detail reflected precision, intention, and scale rather than excess for its own sake. Ultimately, the wedding of Lawrence Fishburne and Gina Torres stood as a perfect fusion of romance and Hollywood artistry. It wasn't just about wealth, it was about creating a living, breathing version of cinematic grandeur, where love story and blockbuster aesthetics met in one unforgettable moment. Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith.
Wife Jada, who claimed last month that although split rumors...
When Will Smith was rising from TV star to global box office powerhouse, his wedding to Jada Pinkett Smith in 1997 marked more than a personal milestone. It became a cultural snapshot of Hollywood in the late 1990s, where fame, ambition, and spectacle often blended into one. Held in Baltimore on New Year's Eve, the celebration was estimated at $2 to $3 million, reflecting the couple's rapidly growing influence in entertainment. Rather than a traditional ceremony, the event was designed as an immersive experience that reflected Will Smith's expanding identity as an actor, musician, and rising global star. The venue was transformed with approximately 50,000 Japanese peonies, filling the space with a soft, cinematic atmosphere that contrasted with the energy of the night. One of the most distinctive features was a large LED screen setup displaying clips from Will Smith's early film and television work, turning the wedding into a visual tribute to his career journey. Guests were treated to a carefully curated high-end gourmet menu featuring premium dishes and fine wines, reinforcing the upscale tone of the evening. A live 30-piece R&B band kept the celebration dynamic, blending romance with the vibrant sound of 90s black entertainment culture. The guest list included notable figures from film and music, adding to the sense that this was not just a private union, but a moment watched and felt across the industry. At the time, Will Smith was transitioning into superstardom, and the wedding reflected that momentum, bold, stylish, and highly visible. Beyond the luxury and production scale, the event symbolized something larger, the rise of a new kind of Hollywood icon. It captured an era where black excellence in entertainment was becoming globally dominant, and where personal milestones could double as cultural statements. Jay-Z and Beyonce. When Jay-Z and Beyonce decided to get married in 2008, they didn't announce, it didn't invite the world, and didn't turn it into a spectacle. Instead, they quietly built one of the most influential unions in modern entertainment history, beginning with a secret ceremony in a Tribeca penthouse in New York. The wedding, estimated at $2 to $3 million, was deliberately intimate, with only a small circle of about 40 close friends and family. But small did not mean simple. The entire space was transformed into a luxury sanctuary filled with approximately 70,000 orchids imported from Thailand, creating a soft, elegant atmosphere that matched the couple's understated approach to power. Even the arrival reflected exclusivity. Guests reportedly accessed the venue through tightly controlled security, with some transported discreetly, reinforcing the private nature of the moment. There were no public announcements, no media coverage, only carefully curated secrecy. One of the most iconic elements of the ceremony was Beyoncé's custom-designed wedding gown created by her mother, Tina Knowles. The dress was reportedly embellished with real diamonds, blending family craftsmanship with high-end luxury. Jay-Z matched the tone in a tailored tuxedo, keeping the focus on elegance rather than extravagance. A private helicopter transport system and ultra-select logistics added another layer of sophistication, ensuring absolute privacy in a world where both were already global superstars. The experience was less about showing wealth and more about controlling it. More than a wedding, this moment marked the beginning of what would become one of the most powerful empire couples in music history. Their union evolved into a fusion of business artistry and influence, reshaping global pop culture. In contrast to many celebrity weddings defined by spectacle, Jay-Z and Beyonce chose precision, privacy, and purpose, proving that true power doesn't always need an audience. Nick Cannon and Mariah Carey. When two global music forces collided in 2008, the result was a wedding that felt more like a private luxury retreat than a celebrity ceremony. Nick Cannon and Mariah Carey chose absolute exclusivity for their union, hosting a secret ceremony on the private Windermere Island in the Bahamas. The event, estimated at $2 to $3 million, was intentionally limited to just around 30 VIP guests, emphasizing privacy over publicity. Despite its small scale, every detail reflected extreme luxury and meticulous design, turning the island into a temporary world of its own. The setting itself was transformed into a surreal paradise. Approximately 100,000 white orchids imported from Hawaii were used to decorate the venue, creating a soft cloud-like aesthetic against the Caribbean backdrop. Even the beach was altered. Reports describe imported sand inspired by the Sahara, enhancing the visual contrast of white shores and turquoise water. Luxury extended into every layer of the experience. Guests were treated to high-end cuisine and premium champagne, while transportation to the island was handled through private yachts and elite travel arrangements, ensuring total seclusion from the public eye. One of the most talked-about details was the gifting guests reportedly received engraved luxury Rolex watches, reinforcing the event's theme of exclusivity and high-value personalization. It wasn't just a celebration, it was a curated experience designed for a select inner circle. Beyond the glamour, the wedding reflected a specific kind of celebrity culture in the late 2000s, private-controlled and intensely exclusive. For Nick Cannon and Mariah Carey, both already established icons in music and entertainment, the ceremony symbolized not mass spectacle, but intimate luxury, an island-bound moment where fame was present but the world was kept firmly outside. Alicia Keys and Swizz Beatz. In the world of modern R&B and hip-hop power couples, few unions blend artistry and elegance as seamlessly as Alicia Keys and Swizz Beatz. When they held their wedding in 2010, it wasn't just a private celebration. It was a refined European experience shaped by music, emotion, and Mediterranean luxury. Set on a secluded seaside villa in Monte Carlo, Monaco, the ceremony was estimated at $2 to $3 million, reflecting both exclusivity and sophisticated design rather than excess spectacle. The location itself, overlooking the Mediterranean Sea, created a naturally cinematic backdrop that required little embellishment, yet was elevated with carefully curated luxury details. The decor featured approximately 50,000 white roses imported from France, transforming the villa into a pure, elegant floral landscape. A floating ceremony platform was built directly above the Mediterranean waters, giving the event a dreamlike, almost surreal atmosphere, where land, sea, and celebration blended into one continuous scene. Music, unsurprisingly, was central to the entire experience. Swizz Beatz didn't just attend as the groom, he actively shaped the sound of the night, performing as the event's DJ, blending live energy with personal artistry. This gave the wedding a unique identity, part romantic ceremony, part live musical performance. The guest list was intimate, focusing on close friends and family rather than industry spectacle. The atmosphere emphasized connection, creativity, and shared history rather than celebrity display. Every detail, from lighting design to dining, was tailored to reflect warmth and understated luxury. More than a display of wealth, this wedding represented a fusion of two creative worlds. Alicia Keys and Swizz Beatz didn't just celebrate love, they created an artistic moment suspended between music and the Mediterranean horizon, symbolizing a modern, elegant vision of partnership rooted in both passion and purpose. Quincy Jones and Peggy Lipton. In the mid-1970s, when Hollywood glamour was evolving alongside the golden age of soul and jazz, the union of Quincy Jones and Peggy Lipton became one of the defining celebrity weddings of its era. More than a private ceremony, it reflected the rising intersection of music, television fame, and elite Hollywood culture. Held in Beverly Hills in 1974, the wedding was estimated at a scale equivalent to $3 to $5 million in today's value, making it one of the most extravagant celebrations of its time. The guest list alone signaled cultural power, bringing together some of the most influential figures in entertainment, including Stevie Wonder and Diana Ross. The venue was transformed into a lush, luxurious setting, dominated by approximately 30,000 Italian lilies filling the space with a refined floral aesthetic that matched the sophistication of 1970s Hollywood. Every detail was carefully curated to reflect status and artistic influence rather than excess alone. The reception featured a high-end dining experience with a gourmet menu inspired by fine European cuisine paired with premium wines and elegant service. A live jazz ensemble reflecting Quincy Jones's deep musical roots set the tone for an evening that felt both intimate and culturally significant. What made this wedding especially iconic was not just its luxury, but its symbolism. Quincy Jones was already emerging as one of the most influential music producers in the world, while Peggy Lipton represented television stardom at its peak. Together, they embodied a new Hollywood identity where music, film, and celebrity culture converged. More than just a lavish celebration, their wedding marked a shift in entertainment history, setting a standard for how fame and artistry could be expressed through personal milestones and helping define the blueprint for celebrity luxury in the decades that followed. Cuba Gooding Jr. and Sara Capper. When Hollywood entered its golden era of rising black cinematic stars in the 1990s, Cuba Gooding Jr. stood out as one of its most energetic and promising talents. Fresh off breakthrough roles that defined his early career, he married his longtime partner, Sara Capper, in 1994, in a celebration that reflected both personal joy and the growing culture of Hollywood excess. Held at a five-star hotel in Los Angeles, the wedding was estimated at $1.5 to $2.5 million, placing it firmly among the more lavish celebrity ceremonies of its time. The guest experience began dramatically, with arrivals handled by a fleet of gold-accented limousines, immediately setting a tone of luxury and spectacle. Inside the venue was transformed into a richly decorated ballroom filled with approximately 40,000 carnations imported from Colombia, creating dense floral arrangements that framed the entire space in vibrant color. The aesthetic was bold, theatrical, and unmistakably aligned with 90s Hollywood grandeur. The reception continued the theme of indulgence. Guests were served a carefully curated high-end menu featuring Wagyu beef gourmet dishes and premium imported wines, reinforcing the atmosphere of exclusivity. A live performance added energy to the evening, turning the celebration into something between a private party and a red carpet event. At its core, however, the wedding represented a familiar Hollywood narrative, a rising star at the height of momentum, celebrating love under the bright lights of fame. Cuba. Gooding Jr.'s success in the 90s made the event feel symbolic of the era itself, when cinema, celebrity culture, and luxury lifestyles were tightly intertwined. While the marriage eventually ended years later, the wedding remains a snapshot of 1990s Hollywood glamour, bold, expensive, and emotionally charged, capturing a moment when stardom often expressed itself through unforgettable, larger-than-life celebrations. Harry Belafonte and Pamela Frank. When Harry Belafonte, a legendary singer and civil rights icon, reached the age of 81, he proved that love and celebration have no expiration date. In 2008, he married photographer Pamela Frank in New York, creating a wedding that blended legacy music and quiet late-life joy. Held at a luxury five-star hotel in New York, the ceremony was estimated at $1 to $2 million, reflecting a refined level of elegance rather than overwhelming excess. The guest list was intimate but influential, including civil rights leader Al Sharpton and other prominent cultural figures who had long respected Belafonte's impact on both music and activism. The venue was transformed with approximately 20,000 lilies imported from South America, filling the space with a soft, sophisticated atmosphere. Instead of overwhelming spectacle, the design focused on warmth and dignity, matching Belafonte's lifelong reputation as both an artist and humanitarian. One of the most powerful elements of the evening was music itself. A 50-member choir performed live singing some of Belafonte's most iconic songs, turning the wedding into a moving tribute to his artistic legacy. The performance blurred the line between celebration and concert, reminding guests of his deep influence on global music culture. The reception featured a carefully curated gourmet menu and fine wines, maintaining a tone of understated luxury. Every detail reflected intention rather than extravagance, aligning with Belafonte's lifelong commitment to meaning over material display. More than just a wedding, this moment symbolized a rare kind of beauty in celebrity culture. Love found later in life, grounded in respect, legacy, and shared history. For Harry Belafonte, it was not about spectacle, it was about affirmation. At 81, his story proved that passion, dignity, and joy can still shine brightly, even after a lifetime of cultural impact. From Michael Jordan's breathtaking $12 million ceremony to Halle Berry's Royal Chateau fairy tale, these 17 black celebrities turned their weddings into unforgettable symbols of success, power, and excellence. Yet one question lingers. Are these multi-million-dollar spectacles the ultimate expression of love, or simply dazzling displays of wealth? Which wedding impressed you most, and was the extravagance truly worth it? Share your thoughts below.